Hi everyone, Jeff Appleby here with Oakland Realty. It's September 2023. We're filming in Kits Point. We were just looking at a beautiful listing at 1995 White Ave. So this fall is going to be a fascinating time for real estate in Greater Vancouver and across the country. The headlines we've been watching are basically talking about the theme that prices are stabilizing. They're not going up anymore. Sales are slowing, sales volumes are slowing. So here are a few quick points to let you know what's going to be dictating the real estate market over the next 3 to 6 months and what we're watching. So the first is that the Bank of Canada did not raise rates today on September 6th. The overnight lending rate stayed the same. So, this is because our economy is not growing anymore. It's shrinking. GDP numbers have been weak, but there was pressure because the US is going to be likely continuing to raise rates. And we have this persistently high inflation and employment numbers. So the bank is trying to battle all of these factors, but they decided not to raise today. They could at the next couple of meetings. So what I just described, which is high inflation with a slowing economy, is stagflation. And that's a term you got to get familiar with. You've probably heard. It is going to be very tricky if we fall into this stagflation, which a lot of people are thinking that we'll start to see. It's just going to be tricky for Canadians, for buying power, for all sorts of things. It's going to be a tough time. So we're keeping an eye on that. Borrowing costs are essentially the highest they've been in over 10 years. And this is what's causing the slowing in the market. And again, it's going to apply pressure on a lot of people who are very leveraged, who have big loans, big mortgages. And we saw this week the premiers of both Ontario and BC send open letters to the Bank of Canada asking that they don't raise the overnight lending rate yet again. Political posturing for sure, but it is interesting and telling of the times. So residential home sales were 13% below the 10-year average for the month of August. Not wildly low, but it is a slowing trend. And this is seasonally normal as well, but in some areas it was much more than just a summer lull. Prices were up and down depending on the area. I've rarely seen things this inconsistent. We do have sales to active ratios that are moving in different directions. And like in North Van, for instance, we had a 37% drop in sales, but median and average prices were up slightly. And that ties into the next point. What has been keeping these prices strong and really keeping a firm bottom is that there's been such low inventory. We've had this problem for quite a while now and it doesn't really seem to be getting fixed. Part of the reason for that is because people don't want to list their homes and move into other homes when they have such low interest rates from the past couple of years, and it's really difficult to qualify now. So they're kind of just hunkering down and paying their mortgages. So, we don't really expect that to change maybe for a couple of years because a lot of these mortgages are from 2020, 2021, 2022. So there's still a few years left on their terms. A lot of people are at 2%, for instance, on a 5-year fixed. So the short-term prediction, I think sales are going to continue to slow in the fall. I think there's going to be some downward pressure on pricing. And it does make me think of the environment that we had in 2022 in the fall after 6 months of climbing rates, where sentiment got really bad, the market got really slow, and a lot of people had a lot of success moving up and changing property types into a bit of a lower price and lower competition environment. So that's what I will be doing in the next several months. And then, aside from that, we're just going to really keep an eye on things and see how it plays out in the fall. The first couple days of September, we've had a good amount of inventory already coming to market, so that is a positive sign. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, it's going to be just an interesting time in Vancouver and Canadian real estate. I really like it. That's why I like doing these updates, because it is confusing with all the mixed headlines. If you ever need help, call me. I'm always happy to help. Love to chat with you. Talk to you soon.